no, listen, I mean, I taught religious studies for 15 years. I know all about low status subjects in the curriculum. Even the media studies kids would look down on us. And I'm only kidding, media studies. I love you too. And what I found really interesting was that children, a lot of the schools I've been to, they'll regard maths as being really high status. Now, I think maths is high status. It's a gateway skill. And also maths is beautiful. But it's interesting, isn't it? Like even kids who don't, sometimes some of them don't enjoy maths, fancy that. They'll still think, oh, but it's important. It's more important than your subject, mate. Bloody religious studies. And why is that? And it's kind of obvious. They think it's important because everyone keeps telling them it's important. And schools convey this sometimes in very unsubtle ways. The big three of English, maths, and science. Why? Because the government tells them it's really, really important. So there's lots of kind of knock-on effects. But my point is this: a couple of things. One is that I think it's great when kids love the subject, but they're not all going to love your subject. And I don't think to myself, if they don't love the subject, I've failed. I think to myself, first and foremost, I'm going to teach them that it's important for them to try as hard as they can, even if stuff they don't always enjoy. Now, this sounds like a weird thing, like I just want them to kind of slog through it. It's not the case. My suggestion is, though, that you need to teach them that they can't just do stuff that they find easy and enjoyable. Otherwise, you are really embedding a really bad habit into those kids where they'll just give up when stuff is hard or boring, which is going to be frequently the case. You can't make all lessons exciting and fun. I'd love to. I mean, you make them as fun as possible, but they're not always going to be intrinsically enjoyable. So there's that. The second thing is that one of the most addictive sensations somebody can have in a classroom is a feeling of success. And I bet this resonates with a lot of people in the audience today, which is that the feeling of knowing that you can do something that you couldn't do before is very empowering. And particularly if you've never been good at anything. I mean, a lot of kids come to school thinking, school's not for me, I hate school, I'm rubbish at everything, blah, 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 I'm going to punch people. But if you think, oh, wait a minute, I can suddenly do X. And this is where pedagogy matters, because this is where you do have to try your best to give high quality feedback, and also to make the kid feel like they're valued in the class and make them feel like their achievements and successes are valued. And when you do all that, kids, you start to move the needle on kids' attitude towards the subject. You've got to be very positive about the subject yourself. And you've got to say to kids, look, I hope you enjoy this. And I'm pretty sure you will eventually. I love it personally. And that's how you've got to constantly convey positive mental attitude. I could go on longer and longer and longer, but it's possible to change the needle of somebody's value by immersing them in the norms of this is what we do.
Brilliant, thank you. Next question